what should we do as young people to get jobs? Especially in the professional field. It has now become very difficult to get jobs due to corruption. And then similarly, someone here is saying, thank you so much for the things you've been telling us. I admire the way you speak. How humble you are to sum it up, blah, blah, blah. But you told us many things in this world have changed, and particularly in Uganda, there is less practicability and more of cram work, less critical thinking, and all these other values that you have shared with us. What is the way to go? Now there's international schools and all these things, and I think it has a relationship with the job.
Those are many questions, but what to do to get a job? One is you look for jobs and apply. I never believe that, by the time they advertise, jobs have been given out and look for the job, apply for it, keep applying, and that's one way. So let me tell you, again, illustration. I worked at Uganda Revenue Authority. And again, like he says, jobs look for you. After I left office of the president, I found working in the public service had become a bit different. So I wanted to exit. And I was told that at URA we are looking for somebody like this. So I went for the interview and they gave me the job of a manager. Then when I went to pick my letter of appointment, they said, no, we are not making you manager, we are making you assistant commissioner. The jobs we are looking for me. So what he's saying is not theory. And then when I was still working at URA, enjoying my work very much, I was called by Judicial Service Commission. I didn't apply and they said, please, you have a letter here inviting you for an interview to be a judge. And I was like, no, I've not thought about being a judge and so on. But what he's saying, the jobs can look for you. You just need to have the right values and make yourself, add value to yourself. And I said one of the things you've done is come here, listen, this one, you can't hear it anywhere. Two, what I tell your generation is there's something called volunteering. You're not going to work and they are not paying you anything. So you say, then how do I survive? So how do you survive when you are not volunteering? At least volunteer, then people see you and say, this young man is coming here and is working hard. When I was on the plane, I watched something, a movie called Yanis, The Marvelous Journey. Yanis is a basketball player. Does anybody know Yanis at the Tokukumbu? Yes. Now, if you can find that and watch the motivation. His parents left Nigeria, went to Greece, they were immigrants, they were hustling to sell things. Then he said they would go to the internet cafe to watch basketball. 1 euro, 1 hour, and so on. One day on TV he saw that Kobe Bryant, who died in a plane crash the other day, was earning $25 million from basketball. And this boy said, this boy called Yanis, it's Giannis, you can Google. He said, somebody's getting $25 million for playing basketball? And he was about 12 years. He decided, he went, looked for a basketball court, looked for a ball, and did everything. Eventually, he joined the Greek national team in Nigeria. And when they went to play, Greece played USA, and they saw he had done so much hard work. It is just hard work. He was watching videos to see what it takes. Because $25 million, he said that we can't even have $5 here. And eventually, he joined the NBA and moved his whole family to Milwaukee and so on. But it is a very inspiring story about hard work and focus and determination. You know, he came back to Greece and is setting up academies. They discriminated against him. They think about don't hate. But people are saying, why are you giving to Greece which discriminated against you? And he said, no, I feel like this was my stepping stone. I cannot repay. And the chairman of the Greek Olympic Committee said, we don't deserve him. But, you know, so what I'm saying, hard work, focus, you need to add to yourself value. You know, everybody has done your degree and all, but do you know how to type? Do you know how to drive? In your spare time, what do you do? What value are you adding to yourself? Public speaking, writing for publication. I told you I used to write news. You know, I was making a living by writing articles for the newspaper, and then at the end of the month they pay me, and then they would say, can you write on this? Can you? Many people thought I was a journalist, but it is a thing I cultivated. So please, get out of your comfort zone and look beyond and see what other value addition you can do for yourself. They say there is a formula of 8 times 8 times 8. 8 hours sleeping, 8 hours working or studying. There is another 8 hours. What are you doing? What are you using those 8 hours to add value to yourself? Researching, you have the phone, are you just doing TikTok, watching and all? Or are you researching what jobs, what value and that kind of thing? So please, you can get jobs. But even while you're waiting for a job, there are many other things you can do that will pay you money. And you can look at them. What was the other question?
Creativity. Creativity in studying these days.
Yes. Okay, so there are two things. There is studying to pass an exam, and you have you have to pass the exam. And if it requires cramming and so on, you just have to do it and pass the exam. But you must learn in the process of cramming and wanting to pass the exam. Make sure you learn. Learn not just learning to pass exams. Studying to pass exams. You must learn something that will help you live a life, make a living. So if the course you are doing, you think maybe it will not enable me to make a living, you can do the course but find some other. There are things. You know, we have many lawyers, they study law, but they are doing some accounting course on the side. And you know, there are people who are looking for accountants to do this for them. You don't have to be an accountant, but you can have the skill. Many other things that you can do. He talked about Kampala Kids League. Are you into sports? People looking for people to coach. Somebody told me that very successful people, they say every year they must learn a skill. So I played football as a young man, and I played rugby at the university. But eventually I realized I could not carry on with those. I learned tennis. Now I play tennis. There are many kids who want to learn tennis, but we will teach them and all. You can do any of these things. Pick up a skill and you know, the children of these rich people, they are looking for people to teach them to play, to swim, to do what, and they will not give you their child unless they know you're trustworthy, that you can handle their children. So find a way you add value to yourself, and then all these things will be added unto you. Thank you. So I passed through Qatar on my flight here. And you know, Qatar and Dubai and the Emirates were small underdeveloped places about 30 years ago. So one of the chiefs of those places said that their parents grew up riding camels, their grandparents actually. Then their parents did a little better and they started driving Land Rovers. And they said for them now, they can drive any car they want, Range Rover, Siju, Bugatti, and so on. And then he said, strong men are born out of adversity, and weak men are born out of plenty. So he said, unless our children work hard, our children are going to go back to the Land Rover, and our grandchildren will go back to the camel. There is a way adversity teaches us and strengthens us and makes us strong. And there is a way in which affluence and lethargy makes us take things for granted, and we lose what was built for us by our parents. You've heard this story. Out of adversity, I could tell you mine and so on. So, the thing that doesn't change whether you are in adversity or prosperity is your relationship with God. Because with God, you know, a few things may change. You may become affluent today, but you don't get excited. You see what causes a problem is the excitement. Somebody gets some money and they get excited and they do this, and before long it goes down. Because prosperity is a kingdom value. How? Because you are not prosperous or unprosperous. Because who owns the whole world? And what are you in that whole situation? You are a steward. So a steward, it just depends on how you are handling the owner's property. And once you are a good steward, God will give you sometimes plenty, but you'll never lack. You'll never lack because you are handling the owner's property. So I want you to have that mentality that, as an American lawyer friend, my mentor used to say, never owners, always stewards. And that is the way you should look at prosperity and property. You are not an owner, you are just a steward. If you want to find that out, think about all the rich people that have existed and where their property is with other people if the children were not taught stewardship. And that is what I leave for you tonight. Never owners, always stewards. Be a good steward.
Very good principles, biblical characters. David, Ruth, Esther. You will find a certain thread in adversity, as he said, but they remain standing. And we know them more than even people who were hunting them. That's number one. Study the biblical characters. Number two, be a mentor of somebody. And because you are a mentor, really doing things you want that somebody to follow through. So there are certain things I don't do as a father simply because I do not want any of my children to do them. You get it? I like Scrabble, you know, and Scrabble is good. I mean, but I found my son likes chess, and we are spending a lot of time on phone until when God said, no more. You get it? So that my son is able, you know, to do what I do, and I can say, God, thank you. I'm proud of the people I'm following. So lastly, you have a mentor. You have somebody you look up to. And if you don't have, please find one. But also look at their value, what? Their value system. The challenge of the world today is that we are looking at celebrities, what they call celebs, Gen Z, celebs. And what defines them? But just check inside their hearts. They are hollow. I have prayed for men who are billionaires. They are even wishing they were so poor. You get it? I have prayed for women. There is a woman, the vehicle she was in, I even feared stepping in it. But she told me, this is my cry, what? Altar. I cry every day. So, what is it in life that you are looking up to? And so go for those values that are in that mentor and please perfect them. As he said, jobs will follow you. God bless you.